Welcome to episode 176 of Vegas Revealed. The Sphere lights up the sky with an eye-popping display.
An iconic burlesque star will take over the iconic Jubilee Theater.
Cirque du Soleil's Michael Jackson 1 celebrates 10 years at Mandalay Bay. We went to the show and have our thoughts.
A half-naked singing cowboy. Yep, he puts on quite a show every Friday night. We reveal what you'll experience if you go.
And it's hot, hot, hot in Las Vegas. Sean travels up the mountain to check out Lee Canyon at much cooler temperatures.
Chinatown packs them in, and it's a short drive off the strip. We'll tell you about some really cool spots we just discovered.
The Spice Girls tribute show kicks off at the Excalibur.
Plus, the Rio is getting a revamp. What it all means for Penn and Teller.
All that and more coming up on Vegas Revealed.
Let's spin that wheel.
Let's go to Vegas, baby. Let's go tonight. Right now. Let's go to Vegas. We'll stay up all night.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 176 of Vegas Revealed. We are back. Dana Roselli and Sean McAllister here. And before we get started, Sean, a quick shout out to all our subscribers. It's been so helpful. We appreciate your support so much. I just want to keep saying thank you. We have a handful of subscribers now that support the show every single month. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And you're looking at their names on our Vegas Revealed Wall of Fame right now if you're tuning into the video version of the Vegas Revealed podcast. And if you would like your name added to this wall, you can just click the link down in our show notes, be added. And as always, we appreciate you all for tuning in, and we especially appreciate the support from our subscribers.
Okay, and I'm going to kind of switch the conversation to this now. The largest topic of conversation this week was the Sphere.
Yeah, I mean, we have been waiting, well over a year that it's been under construction. We've been seeing the world's largest spherical structure rising up from the desert floor. And finally, we got to see what the outside looks like when it's illuminated.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching the video version of our podcast, we're showing some video right now that it just blew our mind, really. We actually posted some video and everyone keeps saying like, wow, that's really incredible. Were you there? It's like, no, we took it from the Wynn because the Wynn had a great vantage point of this on 4th of July. They like put on this show, and as you were looking at it, you were seeing fireworks and American flags, and it was really, really incredible.
Yeah, we saw the sphere, which this is something that I thought was really clever. Whoever programmed the visuals on the outside of the sphere gave a glimpse into what it could look like in different seasons of the year. Mm-hmm. So at one point, there was a giant jack-o'-lantern that was revolving around the outside, and it looked like you could see right into it with a little candle flickering through the jagged mouth. Another visual that we saw was a big snow globe, and it looked like it was a snow globe inside of a snow globe. I mean, we saw a giant eyeball. We saw a visual of Earth. We saw the moon. There were so many cool things, and I was blown away by how crisp and clear the visuals on the outside of the sphere are.
Yeah, I mean, we expected it to be pretty good, but I still think we were all surprised at how visually appealing it was to look at. A few things, a lot of comments we've had on social media and questions. Where do you park to go see the Sphere? Well, it's not really open yet. You know, the Sphere is not opening until the fall. Early October, there are shows scheduled called Postcard from Earth, which you can get tickets for. And the 4:30 shows, by the way, are $49, so it's not bad.
Not bad.
You'll be able to get in. But it's not like the Sphere is operating 24 hours a day now. That was kind of like a special treat in a way.
Exactly. This is just kind of like a glimpse of what is to come.
So that, and then others asking, you know, a lot of detailed questions about the Sphere. And I guess it goes back to my point that it's not officially open yet. So we have not been inside. We won't get inside until the fall. But for now, we just got kind of a preview. The world got a preview because that video has just traveled and traveled and traveled. Everyone's sharing their videos.
Although in terms of parking, I would take a very strong guess at the fact that you would park at the Venetian or Palazzo, because there is a bridge from the Sands Convention Center, which is on the backside of the Palazzo, that goes directly over to the Sphere. That
Yeah.
was part of the construction project to link it up with the Venetian and Palazzo. So that is likely their suggested parking once the Sphere is up and running for shows.
And maybe they're building a parking garage. I don't know that part. So that's something we'll have to look into. But there could be, if they're going to have shows inside, a possible parking garage or lot going into that space. There's so much construction material around the Sphere now as
True.
they
It's
build
hard to
it.
tell, yeah.
It's hard to tell. And someone said, hey, how can I get over there? And the one thing I did also recommend was the Howard Hughes office complex after hours. Park there and walk down the road if you want to see it. But I don't know how often they're going to be running tests. They just kind of pop up every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so cool to see, though. And if you're listening to the podcast, check out our social media or go over to our YouTube channel and check out the video version of the podcast for these visuals, because really, it is just stunning what the Sphere is able to do.
Yeah. Hey, listen, off the Strip over at the 215 and Durango, okay, on the west side, the southwest part of Las Vegas. Wanted to also mention, because we were talking lights and light shows, the Durango Casino actually lit up its sign recently too, so you'll see that now. That just feels like it also went up really quick.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
I drove by that the other day. I was like, wait a second, like the entire thing is built?
I know. It's pretty incredible. Beautiful sign, though, all lit up if you're driving by there. Again, it's off the Strip at Durango and 215. It's a station casino, just like Red Rock and Green Valley Ranch. So it's going to be pretty cool. They've got a lot of nice things going in there, including a ton of restaurants, a bunch of them from Southern California. So we look forward to it.
Yeah, it seems like it'll have kind of a Palm Springs-ish kind of vibe. So we're looking forward to getting in there.
Yeah.
In other casino news, I know a lot of people we've gotten messages about it. And I know a lot of people have been wondering what is going to happen with the Rio. That is like the ongoing question for years. It's like, what's going to happen with the Rio? Is it going to get a facelift? Is it going to get knocked down? Well, now we know.
I know. And I went in there recently for a show, and I thought, man, it just feels so bare in here. So I am so excited to find out that Dreamscape Companies is going to take it over and do a complete revamp. This is great news. The response on social media has been very positive. Like a lot of people said, like, I really enjoy the Rio. I've gone there over the years. I really love their rooms, how it's an all suite. So I'm excited to hear it definitely needs a refurbish, and we're excited to hear that someone's going to do it.
Yeah, and so Dreamscape Companies just released their entire list of design partners who are going to be contributing to that remodel. And I'm excited for that center bar because I had so many nights back in the day that either started or ended at that center bar.
Right.
And it was just so much fun.
Yeah.
So having new life breathed into that property is going to be great. And I was recently talking with somebody who had moved over to the Rio from another strip property.
Okay.
And he was saying that from everything he's hearing from the inside, that Dreamscape Companies is going to be like a breath of fresh air, and people are going to be so excited about what is to come over at the Rio. So from someone on the inside,
it's going to be a dream.
It will be a dream. Hopefully, we want it to be a dream. Absolutely. But that was good to hear that someone who moved over there from a really nice property on the Strip is saying, you know what, this is going to be really nice too, but just give it some time.
Give it some time, right. I'm going to read some little factoids here. So they're going to take over operations fully in the fourth quarter of the year. They are doing a multi-year redevelopment of the resort, and it's going to include a full refresh of the 2,500 all-suite guest rooms, 150,000 square foot casino floor, the meeting and convention space, 5 acres of the luxury pool area, amenities, all sorts of stuff. And they're going to put some restaurants in there that they say are first to market for Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, some concepts, some food and beverage concepts. So I look forward to that. Someone immediately wrote us and said, what does this mean for Penn and Teller? The next day, we got information that Penn and Teller have been extended at the Rio through the end of 2026. So it's great.
It is. And they've been staples over there for decades.
Yeah.
So we love to see that Penn and Teller are staying at their home over at the Rio, that the Rio is going to have some new life breathed into it. That's going to be an exciting thing to watch and eventually take part in, because that is a massive property.
It is. And, you know, side note, that theater that Penn and Teller are in, I went to the Michael Carbonaro show recently, and I think I told you this privately. I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but I was like, I love how much leg room there is in the seats.
Oh, yeah. There really is.
It's like a good theater for like being comfortable, like you're not like so crammed in. I was like, wow, this is actually really nice. People can walk by you to exit for like the restroom or to go get a drink, and you don't even have to move, like stand up. I loved it.
Well, because there are some theaters that we've been to recently where you really have to like scrunch up, and it can be a little tight. Yeah, it can be a little tight. All right, well, we went to the new Spice Girls tribute show over at the Excalibur. It's called Spice Wannabe. It's a 7 p.m. show. They officially kicked off over at the same theater that Thunder from Down Under are in. Yeah, the Thunder showroom over at Excalibur. And if you are a Spice Girls fan, this is the show for you. It brings all the nostalgia. It brings the outfits, the styles, the fun. It really, it was a good time. Yeah, I mean, and what I loved is, you know, they really made it a show. You know, they added in the Spice Boys. I liked that part. It's kind of my favorite part of the show. But they have the Spice Boys. I kind of joined them a little bit for some songs. I thought it was a good mix. You know, they really spread out the really big hits, so you always have a little something that you're, you know, kind of waiting for. They did sing some slower songs in there, which I thought was good. That would be my one recommendation, is maybe a little less of that, because I felt like it brought it down for a minute. You know what I mean? But that was really it. It was a great show. People had fun, and I just think it's a perfect fit for that theater. And you were saying you had an idea. You're like, they should sell packages for Spice Girls, then Thunder from Down Under right after, because there's like a little break in between. There is. So if you go to the 7 o'clock Spice Girls show, the runtime is just under an hour. So it's like the perfect amount of time. And then if you maybe go across the hall to the lounge, maybe you get a couple free drinks and then go back to the theater for Thunder, because people were lining up for Thunder when we were exiting the theater. So it's not a long period of time to wait, and a couple drinks would definitely tide you over during that time. Well, loosen you up to get ready for Thunder. Absolutely. And Thunder's a fun show too. It is. I mean, yeah. And both appropriate for guys and girls, you know, different ages, all that kind of thing. So I don't know, if Spy Entertainment, if you take our tip, then, you know, remember, we have it on tape. We want a little, you know, maybe a 1% commission. Just kidding. And that booth in the center whenever we want to come over. Yes, that's right. Nice to be over at the Excalibur, though. I think, you know, they always put things in there that are really good fit for the property, and I think it's a great idea. Yeah. Another tribute show here in Las Vegas that I'm kind of excited about this. Yeah. It's a mixture of Billy Joel and Elton John. I mean, can you get any more iconic than those two piano men? I know. It's over at the V Theater, which we haven't talked about a lot, but it's over in the Miracle Mile shops, and they've been pumping out shows there consistently at all times of the day and night for years and years and years. And so the Piano Man features Broadway star Kyle Martin. It's a Las Vegas Billy Joel and Elton John tribute show, while we're on the tribute show kind of theme there. It's at 6:30. So if you're looking for a 6:30 show, then they have, you know, a bunch of restaurants there in Miracle Mile. We were even saying that one place that has like the $5.99 lunch, and then you go over to the Billy Joel show, and Piano Man, I should say, at 6:30 could be an idea. But check it out. Kyle Martin is supposed to be fantastic. We haven't seen it yet, but someone did recommend this to us, so we'll try and get over there at some point. Yeah. You know, Dana, switching gears and talking about the weather, I know there has been kind of a heat wave across the entire country, and some wild weather happening in a lot of different places. But man, here in Las Vegas, the switch flipped, and we are hot. Yeah. And I think because it flipped like from one thing to the next thing with a like 20 degrees difference, it's been a lot for people to handle. I feel like more than usual. Don't you? Well, we went from complaints. We went from the 90s to like 115. Right. I was driving around during the week the other day, and it felt like it was just dead. It was like you could see tumbleweeds
blowing through the
because everyone's
streets.
inside.
Everyone's inside. And I think some people are like, wow, it's a lot, but I mean, it's not too crazy as long as you're not standing out in it for a while. I know a lot of people went to the 4th of July parade even in the morning and were saying after about like an hour, or like a half hour, it really gets to you. You got to be hydrated. You got to cover up. You got to wear a hat and all that stuff. So anyway, it's hot. You took one of our Vegas Revealed tips and went up to Lee Canyon one of the days on the weekend recently. And how was it?
It was amazing. Let me tell you, it's like an hour away from Las Vegas. You drive up the mountain. It's a whole nother world. It was 113 degrees down on the valley floor in Las Vegas. Up on the mountain at the Lee Canyon Ski Resort, 79 degrees. It was beautiful. So we went to the lodge. We did the little hike up by the ski trails, went to the lodge, grabbed a beer, grabbed some food, but we had packed a cooler also. So then after we were at the lodge, they have a big meadow, a big clearing where people go sledding in the wintertime. But we brought like the pop-up chairs and we just went and hung out in the shade under a tree and had more snacks. And, we brought snacks, drinks. It was great just to hang out there for the afternoon. And it felt so good. There was a nice breeze.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I was like, well, I had just gotten back from Rochester, New York, so I felt like I kind of had that already.
Yeah.
So, but when I left, it was like 61 one day. But most of the week, it was like 80s and 70s. So, but I can imagine, because when I got back, a lot of people said, like, boy, must have been so nice to be in that weather. And I was like, it was, and now people are really craving that it's so hot here. So, and then you brought the dog up too, right?
Yeah, and he loved it. I mean, there were tons of dogs. People had dogs everywhere. It's a great family spot. There were couples who laid blankets out and they were just having a nice picnic and chilling. There's lots of campgrounds, picnic areas.
Yeah. Cool.
Aside from the actual ski lodge where they have other activities that we talked about last week. You can go back and listen to our tips for that. But it's a great escape from the summer heat in Las Vegas.
So you're central Las Vegas located. So that's a good general. So like how long did it take you exactly, do you think, door to door?
Like an hour.
An hour. Okay.
Yeah.
So for folks that want to go up there, that's not bad at all, right?
Yeah, you just go
and it's easy to get to.
Up the 95. And take a left
north,
on Lee Canyon Road.
That's it.
And then you just go up the mountain and you can't miss it.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Because I've never been to Lee Canyon. I've been to the Mount Charleston Lodge.
Right.
That was at the top of mountain, but it's a different direction. So it's same thing, same kind of temperatures, but a different direction, right?
It's further. So there's a Mount Charleston turnoff is the first one you get to. And then it's a little ways up the highway before you get to Lee Canyon.
Okay. I can only imagine were there a lot of greenery up there because they had so much snow this year that I would think like the water would make the...
On the peaks, there was still some snowpack up on the mountain peaks. As we were hiking on the trails, there were little trickles of streams, like streams just trickling out of the side of the hills. It was beautiful. And there's aspen trees up there, so when the wind comes through, like the little leaves flicker and make the coolest noise.
Yeah.
It's great. I highly recommend it.
Okay, that's Sean taking one of our Vegas Revealed tips. I love it. Hey, Guy Fieri is opening a new sports bar over at the Horseshoe. And I shouldn't say he's opening because it's opened already. So we wanted to let you know about it. If you love his restaurants and you want kind of a sports bar atmosphere, this is now open over at the Horseshoe, which used to be Bailey's.
So he's bringing his Flavor Town to the sports bar.
Yeah.
I love it.
It fits about 279 people, so very roomy. It's got some really cool art and designs in there. Apparently, a 360-degree island bar. So if you want to check that out, it sounds like it's a lot of fun. Very Vegas-y. I love that.
Yeah. And that's just one of the new things happening over at the Horseshoe. This is also very Vegas-y over at the property. Dita Von Teese, the famous burlesque artist, she has just announced a new show inside the Jubilee Theater over at the Horseshoe, which used to be Bally's.
Yeah.
And the Jubilee showroom, I mean, that was home to one of the most classic, iconic showgirl productions in all of Las Vegas history. Of course, Jubilee. And Dita is bringing elements of that show back to the stage in her own production.
Yeah, this is going to be great for a lot of people they're missing that, and people who come to Vegas and want that unique. I mean, the showgirl is Vegas.
Quintessential,
It is. And so she's a burlesque, iconic burlesque star, but she's going to incorporate some of the costumes, the original costumes from Jubilee. We've seen them pop up here and there for different Vegas events and stuff, but they haven't been used full throttle in a show in a while. But she's going to add a little bit of a twist to it. Apparently she has the stage raising up at certain points. It doesn't start till October 5th, so you've got some time to get your tickets, but fall will be here before you know it. And it should be amazing, and I think people are going to love it.
Yeah, in addition to the costumes, Dita is also incorporating some of the original sets from the Jubilee show as well. So it is going to be, I mean, I know how I've been to some of Dita's performances before, and she does it top notch.
She does.
So I have no doubt this is going to be a phenomenal production.
It really is. The name of the show is Dita Las Vegas, Jubilant Review, and it's over at the Horseshoe Las Vegas. You can get tickets on Ticketmaster or go to the Horseshoe Las Vegas website, and all the dates will be there. I noticed she even has dates going into 2024. So it looks like it'll kick off in the fall. I think it takes a little teeny break, maybe right after the holiday. I think she's doing some New Year's Eve shows, and then it kicks back up, I think, in February. But don't quote me on that, but I was just browsing really quick at the tickets.
Well, another Jubilant production, this one from Cirque du Soleil, MJ1, Michael Jackson 1, over at Mandalay Bay, just celebrated its 10th anniversary.
It was amazing to be there for that, right? And see the show again. It had been literally 10 years for me.
Oh, really?
Since I watched
it had been that long?
Yeah, I watched it opening night.
Yep.
And then I loved it so much that when my mom was visiting, and I was in a relationship at the time, my boyfriend and I bought tickets for my mom and us to go see the show again, but it was literally a month after because I loved it so much, and then I haven't been back.
It is such, I mean, it's been a long time since I had been there too, but I forgot how freaking amazing that show is.
Yeah.
It just brought back everything. It was like, oh my God, why have I stayed away for so long? It is just so good. I mean, the music, obviously.
The Thriller scene, unreal.
So good. And I know the word immersive is used quite a bit, but in that theater, there's stuff going on all around you.
All around you. And I love to point that out. And so in a tip way is that you don't have to sit up front, right up front. In fact, if you're sitting way up front, you're missing what's going on in the sky and on the sides behind you. So I don't even know if I would recommend being up really close. I would go middle.
I was going to say middle to rear is really the sweet spot for seats inside that theater for MJ1.
Yeah. I think I have a little something on my lip here. See? I was eating almonds before the show. It was amazing. And they did make some minor changes. I love that there's kind of a story to follow along as well. Plus, you really get the sense of Michael Jackson and his inspiration on music and the world. There were people yelling in the audience, every now and then you'd get that shout out, even though Michael Jackson isn't there because he's gone and he's left us. People are like, Michael. I mean, it's a show.
It is. And let me tell you, that music, it's like one of those things where it brings you back to a point in your life that you can remember so vividly. Michael Jackson music did that for people. It used to be an event when his videos would come out on MTV. Everyone would be there for the MTV music video premiere. Yeah. And then you'd talk about it the next day with all of your friends.
And I really do feel like Thriller, it introduced the kind of longer form movie-esque kind of music video.
And Beyonce picked up the trend and ran with it.
Yeah. So Michael Jackson 1 still over there at Mandalay Bay. We hope it's there another 10 years. It's a Cirque du Soleil production. They just celebrated their 10th anniversary. Congratulations. Hey, a little reminder, and gosh, we just, it's funny because I feel like we always have tips, even though we have a tip segment. But a little tip, we have family coming in. Sean and I are getting the Nevada Broadcasters Hall of Fame Award. We're excited about that in the fall. We've got family coming in for that. And they were looking around and they were saying, hey, it's really expensive that weekend. Is something going on? So we looked into it. I think we've mentioned this before, but it is Mexican Independence Day weekend. So keep that in mind. Adele is back in town that weekend. She's doing shows. There's a lot going on. So if you are coming into town that weekend, it's the weekend of September 15th. Be aware, look around. You might want to, I don't know if you want to shift if you're not coming in for anything specific and you want to shift your trip to the weekend before, the weekend after.
Yeah.
We can't do that. But I was like, man, it's like literally a quarter of the price.
Well, and that weekend is always jam-packed with concerts, with special events, with fights. It's always a big fight weekend.
Yeah.
So that is a packed weekend. That again, like September 15th weekend.
Yeah, lots of artists coming in for special shows at all the different arenas. We've gotten press releases on that all through the year. So just a little FYI. Okay, now we're going to really do some tips. How about that?
So, Dana, I was invited to go see a show at Neonopolis. This is a production theater complex down off of Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas. And it's Chase Brown. And I didn't really know what to expect from Chase Brown's show. I know that he's a singer. He does a lot of country music. But other than that, I didn't know what to expect. Let me tell you, it was a hoot. So
a lot of fun, and you recommend it, right? Let's start with that.
Recommend it, yes. If you're going, I recommend going with a group of people. It would be good for bachelorette parties. If you have family in town who like to get a little saucy, this is the show for you. So Chase is a country singer, very talented country singer. But he does a lot of his show, kind of bare-chested and shirtless. He does wardrobe changes up on the stage. He has fans, like the fans that you expand to fan yourself, clacker fans.
Oh, I could use one of those right now.
I know. He has a bucket on the stage, and there were a lot of ladies who were going up and tipping him $20, like shoving $20 down his top of his pants. And when you do that, you get a free fan.
Okay, there you go. Because the tickets to get in, you said were only $20.
It's like $20 to get in.
So throwing another 20 toward Chase is no big deal.
Exactly, and the drinks are reasonably priced too. So it's a great time every Friday night at Neonopolis. Down off of Fremont Street. Highly recommend it. Super fun. Great people watching. Everybody was up dancing. It was quite the scene.
Okay, I love it. And he sounds good too. And I know during the COVID period, he was doing some stuff up and down the strip, like in the back of like a truck.
Like on a flatbed.
Yeah, and he was like singing. Was he singing to like police officers and stuff? I don't know.
I think so.
It was a good time, but I remember Chase made some headlines back then. So I'm glad to hear that he has a regular show in downtown Las Vegas. Yeah. Off the strip, listen, a lot of people always write reviews about the podcast, and we appreciate them. By the way, leave us a review. Someone recently said, we wish that you would talk about things off the strip a little bit more. So I wanted to talk about my recent Chinatown experience. I went over to the Shanghai Plaza, which is just to the west of the strip, down Spring Mountain, easy to get to. I went in there on a Sunday night and it was booming, Sean. Like I couldn't find a parking spot.
I mean, Chinatown has become kind of one of the it places to be.
It really has. There were lines at all these different shops. So I was going there. Let me get the name of the place right. The Moxie Cocktail Lounge is where I went. And let me tell you, it was like you were walking into a nightclub or a lounge, a really nice lounge on the Las Vegas Strip. So nice in there, like a purplish hue light, booths, an amazing bar, like beautiful chairs. They even had a little patio where you could see the strip. The food was incredible. The cocktails were top notch. A little pricey there though, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
But and the music was really loud, which was fun. But it's definitely a vibe. It's a cross between a nightclub and a lounge and a restaurant all in one.
So did you order anything? Yeah,
I had cocktails. I had an espresso martini. In fact, I'm going to try and remember this. They made it with something different. And the waitress was like, it's really good. I'm blanking on what it was. It was a twist on the espresso martini.
Was it tequila? Did they do a
Yes,
tequila?
I think it was tequila. Yes, it was tequila. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, it's actually really, really good. And it was delicious.
And see, I've heard of tequila espresso martinis lately, but I have not tried one yet.
Yeah, it was really good. In fact, I ordered 2. So that shows that I really, really liked it. But I think they were like $20 each. But so it's up there in price, but it's comparable to the Strip.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a whole menu there, and the food was great too. We just had a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it was delicious. But I want to talk about all the other things that I saw in there because there were lines for these places. And one of the places that I saw a line, and then I brought this up, and a couple people said to me, "Oh yeah, it's a major hotspot. It's called," and I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's Somi, and it is a soft serve Korean style ice cream shop.
Interesting.
Where they put it into a fish waffle cone. So you pick your flavor, you pick your toppings, they put it into this cone that's like the mouth of a fish that's open.
So it's almost like a waffle cone bowl.
Yes, exactly. So there was a line for that place. Apparently very popular, so we need to try it. I hear it's delicious. They had a bakery there called 85 Degrees, and it was a bakery and cafe. I saw people inside there. There's Korean barbecue spots. There's Thai restaurants. There's a bubble tea chain in there, and the list goes on. Check it out, Shanghai Plaza. It's the newer Chinatown Plaza. So if you are leaving the Strip, it's on the right side or the north side of Spring Mountain.
And really take your time. Set some time aside to explore Chinatown because there are so many great spots over there. New restaurants that have opened up too. Chefs from the Strip who have gone over there to open up their own spots. Yeah,
and I wanted to point out that there's a website called ChinatownVegas.com that has listings for everything that they have in Chinatown. So go there and check out for more information.
I like it. Good tip.
Yeah. Thanks. Hey, Amazon Prime Day is coming up, and we've got an Amazon shop. Keep in mind, even if you don't shop in our shop, you can click on our link and make your purchase, and we'll still get a teeny little commission to help support the podcast.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It does nothing to impact the price that you pay for whatever product. Everything is still the same price. But if you navigate to Amazon through our shop link, which is down in our show notes, we just get a tiny little kickback.
We do. And if you want to just shop in some of our lists too, we curated lists for you as well. If you're visiting Las Vegas, the kind of must-have stuff, we've got the stadium bag section in there. Sean's favorite things, my favorite things, some podcast equipment, also like a lineup of podcast equipment that you would need if you were going to start up a podcast. So browse around. Again, it's in our show notes. Keep in mind, we also have an affiliate link for Roll-A-Sole, which are the flats that you fold, put in your bag. If you're coming to Vegas, ladies, and you want to wear heels, put these in your bag, and then when your feet start to get a little sore, you can whip these on. All sorts of cute styles. They've got slides, they've got sandals, they've got flats that are covered in the front, hot pink, black, all sorts of different cool styles. If you use that link, we also get a teeny little commission as well.
Yeah, they're stylish, and they are essential.
Essential.
For Las Vegas. Next week here on the podcast, we are going to be attending RuPaul's Drag Race Live. It is the 500th performance over at the Flamingo. So we'll have a recap of our experience over there.
Yeah, and we know RuPaul is making a special appearance, so he will be in the house. We also tried out a local sushi spot off the Strip that we highly recommend. We have to tell you about this. It was really good, and it's right near the Palms. I'm also going to go to Kevin Hart's show for Heartbeat Weekend over at the Resorts World. And then I think we're doing something else too, and I can't think of what it is, but you'll find out about it in podcast 177.
We'll see you then.